Hey, it's Candus, and in today's QuickBooks tips and tricks, I'm going to teach you about memorized transactions. So this can save you a lot of time, but you got to make sure you set it up properly. And then if you ever need to go in and change it, there's a few little tips and tricks I'm going to teach you today. So come look over my shoulder, and I will teach you how.
All right, I'm going to teach you how to do a memorized transaction. So the times you're going to want to use a memorized transaction is, say that every month you transfer money from your checking to your savings. It's a requirement for your bank account. Let me show you what you would do. You could go under banking. This is an example of how you could use a memorized transaction. So let's say that today we are moving money from one bank account to the other for $25. What we would then do, let's say that we wanted to change this transaction and we wanted it to be the 31st of every month it happened. So I'm going to go back to March and I'll show you what would happen in April again. What you're going to do is, you see there's no way for you to click memorize transaction here. What you do is you go under edit, memorize, transfer. Then you give it a title. You decide what you want to call it. What you have to be careful of is QuickBooks will only let you type so much. So you might have to abbreviate something or however you want to do it. Then you'll notice there are three options to the left. There is put on a reminders list, do not remind me, or automatic transaction, automate, I can't even talk to you, automate transaction entry. What does this mean? The first one, it puts it into your reminders list, which you can get to from up here, company reminders. Do not remind me means it just automatically puts it in. It doesn't even ask you any questions. And the automated one, what it allows you to do, which is my favorite, is when you decide how often, it'll actually pop up every time you open up your QuickBooks, and it will say, hey, are you ready to enter this transaction? So that's what I'm going to show you right now. Automate the transaction entry. How often? Never is what you could do if you want to remove it, basically, or get rid of it. We're going to do monthly, and we're going to say we want the next one on April 30th. Technically, I'm going backwards just for the example. If you want remaining, so basically the next date is when do you want it to happen next. So if you're creating your transfer in the month of May and you want the next one to happen in the month of June, I recommend picking June. But for the example purposes, I'm going backwards and picking April. Number remaining, this is if you only want it to happen, say, 6 times. You could put 6 in there. If you want it to keep happening an indefinite number of times as of this moment, you leave that blank. Then it says days in advance to the entry. How many days in advance do you want to ask? You can put 10 days ahead of time, a day ahead of time, or you can leave it at 0. In this example, I'm going to leave it at 0 so that when April 30th comes along and I open up my QuickBooks, it's going to remind me about it. If you're using this, you can use this in all areas of QuickBooks. If you're using this for, say, enter bills feature, you may want to do this a couple days in advance. So go ahead and click OK and click Save and Close. So now let's go into our checking account and I will show you where how it shows up. So we go into our checking account, we go up to the March 31st, and you'll see there's a transfer transaction. Now, say the days happened and a month has gone by and I'm logging into QuickBooks for the first time, just as an example to show you what will happen. You log into your QuickBooks. And as soon as you log in, there'll be a screen that pops up that says, hey, there's a memorized transaction. Do you want to enter it? And you have a choice. See, here it is. Enter memorized transaction. You have one memorized transaction to enter below, and there's a check mark. When you check it, which will automatically be checked, there's a little button down here. It says enter checked now. So these are all the checked transactions. You want to make sure that you're like, okay, yep, it transferred from here to there. Yep, everything looks good. You can choose to enter later if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and enter now. It lets you know that it entered it. Now, if I go into that same my checking account, I have the accountant's version, so there's a couple extra screens coming up, but you click on the checking register, you go into the checking account, and you'll see there's April 30th, $25. It'll save you from having to go in and do it if you have the same transaction every month. That's one way to do it. The one thing to know is if you go under List, Memorize Transaction List, there it sits right here if you ever want to get rid of it or change it. If you double click on it, it will open up the transaction. Okay. If you click edit, it looks like I accidentally added an extra in. I could actually change that. So you click edit, you can change the title, you can change how it reminds you to do it, how often, and the date. Okay? But you cannot change the actual transaction. You can double click on it and save another one, and it will automatically have the date in here, and you can change it, but you can't change everything in here and assume that it will stay changed in the next transaction. What you do is you go into this transaction, the memorized, you delete it, go back in, create a new one, say if the dollar amount changes, and you change and create a new memorized transaction, okay? You can only change in the memorized transaction. See, by me saving that, now it's trying to go all the way out to July. So say I want to go back and I want to use it for May 31st, I would create that and click OK. But that's all you can change in here is how it puts it in, what the title is called for it, and how often it happens. Okay? Let's give you another example. So that was a transfer. You can do the same thing inside checks. You can click memorized here, or you can go back under edit and click memorized check once you create it. I often have clients who do loans that way. The thing to remember is if you do a loan, you need to make sure each time you go in and change your interest and principal for the loan, or it will be off at the end of the year. The other thing you can do is you can actually memorize invoices. So say you do, you provide a service or product and you bill your customers once a year. Say it's a maintenance contract. What you can do is you can click memorize. You can go in here and click annual or quarterly, and what it will do is you can put all your information in and QuickBooks will remind you next year to go ahead and bill the customer. Or if you do a monthly service charge for a service you provide, you can actually choose to do it monthly. So that could save you some time. I would recommend doing the automated, but it'll remind you. And I recommend putting in, say, monthly, quarterly, or annual, and the next date that you want to do it. All right, so hopefully that saves you guys time. Just remember, if you ever want to change the transaction, you actually need to rememorize it. Then go up to list and go to memorize transaction list, and this only changes a couple things. All right, we already talked about that. The one other thing I will tell you is you can actually memorize reports. So say that if you go under reports, you'll see there's memorized reports. There's all different kinds of reports already in here. And at any time, if you customize a report and it's just the way you want, whatever that is, I'm just going to pick a report. You can go up here to memorize that report. This is what it's called. This option allows you to save it to a specific group up here if you want. So we'll click that off. That means it will not save it to a group. And then this is share the report or template with others. So we just click OK. Then when you go back up here, you'll see it's right down here, profit and loss. I've done some other examples in the past for different trainings. Then when you go to click on it, it will pull it up exactly what you want, depending on, see this one I customized the look and feel. I taught this in my course before. So anyways, that's how memorized transactions work. You can use them for invoices. You can use them for reports. You can use them, they just memorize that report. You can use them under inner bills. Every feature pretty much QuickBooks has, you can memorize it. Just make sure it's a good feature, but don't overuse it, because what will happen is you might end up getting entries you don't really need. I only recommend using it if you do the same thing every month. Otherwise, just go in and create the transaction. All right? Because like for doing loans, sometimes going back in and remembering to change the interest and principal can become a pain. Have an amazing day. If you enjoyed this tip, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I offer these tips and tricks to be sent out to you by email through my tips and tricks every week list. Feel free, if that's something you're interested in, there'll be a little eye up at the right that you can click on, put your name and email address, and they'll come directly to your inbox so you don't miss any of them. Have an amazing day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.